Most blades these days are mass-produced in a factory and designed to look good on an Instagram reel and then spend the rest of their lives on a shelf. But not this blade, being built one at a time by a man who understands firsthand that in the field, your gear has to perform and be trustworthy. And that failure isn't just an inconvenience, but is catastrophic. This is the Redbeard Blades Mako. Designed to be compact enough to take with you just about anywhere, but capable enough to do the heavy lifting. And I think it's important to introduce you to this knife's maker, Josh Wolf, who I've been blessed to know and call a friend for over a decade now. And you might say he's a little different because he's a veteran Army Ranger who served as a sniper for 3 tours in Afghanistan and then became an instructor at the U.S. Army Sniper School. He's just one of the coolest down-to-earth guys I've ever met. And he's been making blades since before I met him, but founded Redbeard Blades in 2018. And as we're unpacking the Mako, I want you to understand what goes into these blades. He's doing stock removal, making them one at a time, heat treating them, grinding them in, shaping and molding the handles, and doing everything in-house himself in his shop. And so we're gonna pivot today from the mass-produced arena and really take a look at what a knife built this way brings to the table, seeing what the Mako design can do, running it up against a few competitive options, and just having a ton of fun, testing out a blade that I know many of you didn't even know existed. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm Aaron. This is Gideonstactical. Let's dive in and have some fun. Now, the blade shape itself was the first thing when I saw this at Blade Show 2025 that made me go, I really want to see what this knife can do. Because we have a very broad blade with a massive belly, but the tip geometry is right. It's dropped like a Mako shark, kind of looks like a big shark head right there, for piercing. So you're not sacrificing broadness and height of grind for slicing and belly use. Now let's see. Usually the rule of thumb with a 7,000 pound toe strap. Oh, shut up. Let's do it again. Is you got to be able to do usually minimum 4 inches, usually 4.5 minimum. Oh, whatever, dude. Yes, that's great. But you're getting piercing. So many big bellied, high grinded knives don't have any piercing capability. You know, they're pretty snub nosed. This has potentially in design the ability to pierce, penetrate, and the geometry is dropped to go more in line with the center of the knife, not sweeping up like a trailing point. I dig it. Zippity doo dah, right through zip ties. Vanilla rope. Look at that. Not even having a saw. Just push cut after push cut. Don't mind the kiddos doing their dribbling. It's gonna do it. Oh yeah. That's all edge geometry right there. Wow. Paracord. Awesome. Nasty knot right there. Now the steel being used is 80 CRV2 with a 61 Rockwell. And that is not a new sexy super steel by any means, but is a tried and true classic. I've had it on dozens of blades. They've never let me down. It's easy to resharpen, it's durable, and definitely does better in edge retention than a lot of other kind of base, say 5160, 1095 carbon steels. Now, dimensionally, this thing is a compact brute, coming in at an overall length of 8.5 inches with about a 4-inch blade, 4.5-inch handle. Now, from edge to spine, we're talking 1.5 inches. So that's one of the broadest blades in this size range. And the stock thickness, 5/32. Now, that's the intended goal, but because these are handmade, one at a time, the stock removal process, yours might be just a hair thinner or a hair thicker, depending on each model made. Now, the weight, 8 ounces. So this thing before the sheath is a pocket tank. Now the handle is where you can see a lot of that handcrafting coming into play, because not only is the geometry just excellent, Oh my gosh. Dude, that handle is like part of my body. It feels so organic. I feel like a cyborg right now. Oh my gosh, yeah, dude. That's just eating it up. Nom, 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 nom. Good name, the Mako. Fast and hungry. Oh, dude. Words cannot describe how that feels. Oh my gosh. But the fit and finish is superb. You can tell that Josh is sitting there, you know, like working on each tool, making sure that it's perfectly rounded. You know, there's not a lip anywhere on this. Nice, I would say high polish here on this particular micarta with my large size hands, 3 1/4 knuckle span. What that's going to do, I got a little bit of real estate off the back right there. That guard really gets me locked into place, encapsulating, I would say, like 99% of the metal. So it's going to really keep me locked in if I had to do a reverse pierce, something like that, or if I'm just carving for a long period of time, my finger isn't like rubbing up against that, creating a hot spot. And then because everything has palm swells, contoured, rounded, I mean, I am so locked in, pinned in handles. It just feels like just such a premium hand-built tool, adding to that uniqueness and custom feel. Now, we got plenty more to get to, including the bidirectional ambidextrous sheath, but let's go ahead and talk pricing real quick. Now, I do appreciate Josh sending me this particular sample so I can show you guys what it's capable of, what it's limited in, and help you better determine not only what Redbeard Blades is doing and kind of introduce you to this company, but also help you determine that maybe mass produced is just better for you and just what you look for. And there's nothing wrong with that. Or if something that's more handmade, more one of a kind, makes more sense in what you're looking for and what you want in your blade experience. Now, the Mako currently goes for $275. And when we consider all the effort, energy that goes into it, the high quality parts, materials, American made, all that, that's definitely competitive with a lot of other even mass-produced blades that are able to cut down, you know, on their cost because they're mass-producing them. And you know, a lot of handmade knives like this are going to go several $100s, meaning that they end up being safe queens. You don't really want to use them. This thing is priced so that you can actually go out and want to use your blade. Now, Josh has made a run of 20 of these. So there are 20 of these currently available when I'm making this video, and once they're gone, they can be a couple months as he's building out basically batches, and basically order to order is how he builds those out. And so that will be all communicated through the website. He's very hands-on with the business and making sure that you guys are taken care of. Now, what's really cool is Josh has been willing to offer exclusively for you guys here in the Gideonstactical audience, you're not going to find this anywhere else, a 5% off promo code that works towards the Mako and any of his other blades site-wide, which brings it down closer to $260. So I'm going to have an affiliate link popping up here. It's in the description box below as well, along with that promo code, so you guys can explore not only the Mako, but all the other models that Josh offers. And then there were two blades that came to mind when I was testing out the Mako. First is this Winkler case collaboration. This is called the Skinner. And it was more of just like the same idea. You know, American made, 80 CRV2, pinned-in handles, ultra cool, very rustic kind of feel to them. This model was like $325 to $350 when it was dropped. I don't even know if it's available anymore. And the fit and finish is better on the Mako. So meaning that these blades can easily go toe-to-toe with something that, say, Winkler produces or other, you know, knife manufacturers like that. Then it's kind of a staple in this size range of compact fixed blades, the URSUS Cub from White River, USA made, Magna Cut steel. Now, if you go watch my original video, I was not pumped about the handle ergonomics, so I had to go get Lucas custom handle scales that cover up that bird beak and stuff. So the ergonomics are a lot better now. I'm into this blade now. It would be like $250. Now, Magna Cut steel, more modern, rust resistant, you know, than 80 CRV2. But when you look at the overall form and broadness of the blade, but also the handle ergonomics are far superior to even the custom handle scales that are on the Cub. So there's nothing wrong with the Cub, especially if you upgrade the handle scales. But when you get something that's built like this, you're going to notice a lot of the form and function might operate better. Now, an excellent fixed blade requires an excellent sheath, and the sheath that the Mako is coming with has a lot going for it. There's one caveat that I discovered that I'm going to pass along with you. That's not a deal breaker, but it's something to be aware of. Now, this is actually made by a different company, Joe Fu Leather. Excellent leather, USA made. Super high quality, great stitching. Now the design is excellent because it's ambidextrous and ambi carry. So you can carry this knife right or left, up or down. It has 2 pass-through. And since it has so many ways you can orientate the knife, you can also pass a molly tab through there and run it this way. And then you can easily run this on a chest pack, a shoulder strap, or some other type of PALS webbing. Now here's the caveat. I kind of felt like I needed this pass-through for how broad my belts are. This gap right here for the vertical carry is quite a squeeze to get my 1.75 inch wide nylon belt. You can see there, I'm really fighting it. And I can get it, but I'm definitely kind of deforming the leather, and over time I'm gonna kind of like wear a notch there, and that's thin nylon. So 1.75 across, and you have a thick leather belt, you're gonna have a real tough time carrying through there. 1.5, no problem. Now on the opposite, the horizontal carry is no problem. I can just tuck that thing all the way through there. So it would have been nice to have this a little wider, and it would be great if they could match the width on both of these cut-ins, but that is again where something like a molly loop will add to lashing, but also ease of tucking pass through all the way up to like 2-inch belts. Well guys, there it is. I hope that this video has first entertained, second informed, and one of my favorite parts of running this channel is introducing you, the audience, to pieces of gear and equipment that just really perform that maybe you didn't even know existed. And I feel like that is absolutely where the Mako comes in. It is legendary, guys, in its size, its feel. Words can't express it. Words can't express how this feels to me. And it's more than just a tool. It's, you know, got some heart and soul to this. And to introduce you guys to Redbeard Knives, a guy who knows a thing or two about trusting his gear and equipment in life or death situations and producing blades like this. Pretty sick. So encourage you guys, check it out, leave questions, comments. I'll do my best to answer them. And until next time, always remember to stay equipped, stay prepared, and I'll see you out there.